Welcome back. The states of Borno and Yobe State in the last 1 week have had several attacks by the Boko Haram insurgents. It's not been a funny one for them. Now, many in those states thought that after the elections, things would be a lot easier. With all the gains that the military have had in routing the Sambisa forest and destroying some of the strongholds of the insurgents, a lot of people thought that we'll be hearing the final whispers of the insurgents. Indeed, a lot of people still think that these few attacks that were heard over the week are the final whispers of the Boko Haram insurgents as they are completely routed across the country. I want to discuss the security situation in the northeastern part of the country and indeed the other part of Nigeria. We have three security experts in the studio. Emeka Nwanewi, member, Presidential Committee on the Reform of the Nigerian Police in 2008. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Olade Indiario is a security expert. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. I told you, I'm not an expert, I'm a practitioner.
Okay, security practitioner.
It takes a lot
okay.
to be an expert.
Right,
so I can confirm that.
Security practitioner, Olade Indiario, and Dr. Yana Ekomo is a security, can we call the expert?
Practitioner.
Up to you. Okay, security practitioner. Thank you for coming, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now, this is what a lot of Nigerians have done since the new administration took over on May the 29th. They speculated that President Muhammadu Buhari, once he resumes office, will put an end to insecurity in Nigeria. But when he took over, since he took over, we had about at least 3 attacks in the northeastern part. Dr. Ekomo, why do you think this is so?
Well, insurgencies don't just go away because we wish them to go away. It takes some time for them to take root, but once they take root, they kind of get a life of their own. Now, the issues, they are grouses, that's the bad guys, they are grouses, as far as they are concerned, haven't been addressed or cannot be addressed because these appear to be insoluble problems. And so it's going to continue for a while, and they haven't been defeated. And like you said in your preamble, the military had made significant progress, pursued them all the way back into the Sambisa, which is good. Recovered all territory that they had been holding on to, a full 75% of the whole of Borno State at a point in time. So that was, that was quite tragic. But thank God, and the military, we've seen soldiers come out and make pledges that that will never happen again in Nigeria. Even though the bad guys went back and took Marathi recently, but I think that we're not going to see that happen quite often. For them to go and actually occupy our land. But the difficulty here is they have changed their game plan. They've gone to another page of their playbook. They have a playbook, what play they're going to run today. They've changed their game plan. They're now running pure terror attacks. And that one is almost, it's very difficult. It's not impossible to defend against terror attacks. We've seen the U.S. defend successfully against terror attacks they defended from 2001 all the way to 2014, when the Boston Marathon bomber detonated. But all that while, there were consistent efforts by AQ and his agents and his proxies to try to attack the United States. So we can't say you can't defend against terror attacks. You in fact can. But it takes a different kind of security architecture. It takes an intelligence-based security architecture, not what we are still talking about doing in this country, which is going on a frontal basis. You go on a frontal basis, they just come through the back and detonate a bomb, and you still have casualty. Like yesterday in Adamawa State, you had 45 dead.
Mr. Aria, what's your take?
Well, as he said, you remember during the election period, it was being touted that Buhari was a part of Boko Haram, and that when he comes in, he will call them to order. Now, he's in there, and we are witnessing attacks again. Like Radley said, as it is now, the new game, they're on a new page, as he said, there will not be a battlefield or a battlefront, no. But there will be targets as specific soft spots.
Mr. Rio, The president has been there only 1 week.
Well, for all I care, presidency is a 247 job. And a week, you said that a week has gone now. I'm not expecting a miracle. Even in the Bible, the drums were filled before Jesus Christ turned the thing to wine. Okay? But time is not there. The urgency of the situation demands a much robust and quick action. It's a good thing that they moved the command center to Borno to enhance communication and instruction and flow and all of that. But it's going to be a long night for Nigeria. We'll be getting this time in, time out. Good enough that we are now working, we have now renewed relationship with Sudan. Recall that when we reported Sudan to the United Nations Security Council over what they were doing in Darfur, when we were there to keep peace, they started supporting insurgency against Nigeria. The VP, having gone there, has offered them an olive branch. And I will expect that, that done, the lifeline, the major lifeline, will have been cut off for Boko Haram. So their days deliberately are numbered. But we will still have to contend, that's the reality now, with IEDs, sounding off here and there over time.
Okay, Mr. Wanyeri, our president had visited Chad, and this week he was in Niger to talk about this very matter. What do you think the gains are going to be for us from such visits to neighboring countries?
Clearly, you can't take it away from both the intention and the expected result from such visits. And of course, we remember that Buhari is a soldier. Clearly, he will also adopt some tactics that soldiers are known for. Then again, there's something my colleague here said, senior colleague here said, which is about intelligence. That is what the president needs to up his game now. Put in more resources and men in the intelligence community to try to take back what these terrorists are trying to use to, to recover what they have lost with the increasing tempo and charge of the Nigerian military. That is what the president needs to do immediately. Just like when my other colleague also said it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a real long night for Nigeria to stamp out terrorism. Terrorism, just like he said, you can't wish them away, but they can be defeated.
Let's look at the situation. He talked about a frontal attack and how they come from behind to detonate the bombs. The issue of intelligence here, what would it take? The residents of these towns, the residents of Borno, and the security, what kind of security apparatus would we be looking at putting in place?
Yeah, that's exactly why I talked about intelligence, and it's a professional thing. Before we came into the studio, we were even talking about community policing. Part of the success of the Nigerian police force in certain areas now, in terms of stamping out kidnapping, all these other smaller crimes than terrorism, is community policing. If the community people have confidence in the police, they give information, they volunteer information. And these people who volunteer information are protected. That is what happens, and that's what will increasingly happen now. If you up the game in the intelligence community, the people who live in these areas where the Boko Haram insurgents penetrate from will give more information, will volunteer more information that they're giving presently. And then, of course, you match it with equipment and training, further training.